Okay, we live in a world that is just screaming at us, right? Get noticed, stand out, be seen. But what if that's all wrong? What if the greatest strength, the most effective strategy, is actually doing the complete opposite? Today, we're diving into this totally counterintuitive idea that being low key isn't a weakness. Nope, it's your most underrated superpower. I mean, just think about it for a second. How much energy do we all pour into being seen? Crafting that perfect online persona, that perfect professional image. But is all that performing actually making us weaker? Is it draining our power, making us, I don't know, more predictable and less effective? It's a challenging question for sure, but it's one we've got to ask. All right, so first up, let's talk about what's called the visibility trap. We're going to uncover the hidden cost of constantly being in the spotlight. You know the drill. From every LinkedIn guru, every career coach, the advice is exactly the same, isn't it? Build your personal brand. Be loud. Get noticed at all costs. It's like the gospel of the modern workplace. But there's a price to pay for this constant chase for visibility, a price we almost never talk about. And that price? It's a massive mental cost. See, when you're constantly on, you're basically a performer. All your brain power goes into managing how people see you. Your cognitive load is just through the roof. Now contrast that with the observer. They're operating with a super low cognitive load. Why? Because they're not worried about the spotlight. Their focus is 100% on figuring out what's actually happening. They see the reality, everyone else is just too busy performing to notice. So, what's the actual science behind this? How does this work? Well, in our next section, we're going to dive into the science of invisibility, and you'll see why being overlooked is, believe it or not, a huge strategic advantage. Okay, so at the very heart of this is a really cool concept called the observational advantage. It's actually super simple, but so profound. When people don't think you're watching them, they let their guard down, right? They act more naturally. And that gives you access to the real stuff, unfiltered information, their true intentions. You get a much clearer picture of what's going on. You're not just a piece on the board, you're seeing the whole game. And this opens up some incredible benefits. Without that constant weight of people watching you, you suddenly have all this mental space for deep thinking. There's way less pressure to perform, which gives you the freedom to just wait. To wait for that perfect moment to make your move and to do it decisively. This isn't about being passive, not at all. It's about being strategically patient. Which brings us right to our third section, your underrated superpower. Let's talk about the real advantages of operating from the shadows. I want you to think of these as like active, strategic tools in your toolkit. You can gather way better intelligence because, frankly, people forget you're even listening. You always have the element of surprise because nobody sees you coming. And this is the big one. You can actually influence things without painting a giant target on your back. It's like you're quietly playing chess while everyone else is just shouting at each other. This quote just nails it. The loudest person in the room, they're often the least informed. They're usually compensating for something. Real power, true power, it doesn't need to announce itself. It's quiet. It doesn't have to shout because, well, the results speak for themselves. Okay, so you get the why now, right? But what about the how? How do you actually do this? In section 4, we're going to talk about mastering the low-key move with some really practical tactics. It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, practice active listening. Really listen. Focus on understanding, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Second, speak with intent. Make your words count. It's about impact, not airtime. And third, and this is a big one, let your work speak for itself. Shift your focus from self-promotion to just delivering undeniable value. Let's put this into a real-world scenario, like a team meeting. We've all been there. The high-visibility person, they're talking just to be heard, often just repeating stuff everyone already knows. Their goal is simple, get attention. But the low-key power player, they're doing something different. They're listening, and then they ask that one question that completely changes the conversation, or they connect 2 ideas nobody else saw. Their goal isn't attention. It's to shape the outcome. And the result? They walk away with lasting influence, not just some temporary spotlight. All right, for our last section, let's pull all this together and talk about a new kind of power dynamic. It's time to redefine what it actually means to be influential. If you take away one thing, let it be this. Real power isn't about commanding the spotlight. It's not about being the loudest person on stage. It's about understanding the room so well, so deeply, that you can subtly guide it. You can nudge the conversation, the decisions, the final outcome, and a lot of the time nobody even realizes you're the one doing it. That is real influence. So I'm just going to leave you with this question to think about. In any room, any situation, who holds the real power? Is it the person on stage soaking up all the attention? Or is it the one you never saw coming?